Today, crypto provides a vital lifeline in Afghanistan as the country's financial system faces a crisis. Plus, Airbnb offers to house thousands of Afghans displaced by the Taliban's takeover. And finally, today marks 10 years since Tim Cook took over as Apple's CEO, and the stock has soared. I'm Pippa Stevens, and this is CNBC After Hours. Stocks finished in the green with the Nasdaq closing above 15,000 for the very first time. The S&P reached yet another record as well. The news isn't as good for crypto, though. Big names like Bitcoin and Ethereum traded lower following a major rally earlier in the week. On Sunday, Bitcoin crossed above $50,000 for the first time in more than 3 months. But some crypto investors aren't just looking to make a profit. In Afghanistan, citizens are buying crypto as a way to safeguard their money while fleeing the country. For those that stay, they see it as a way to avoid bank runs and even provide for their families. Fellow host MacKenzie Sigalos explains how Afghans are taking advantage of crypto's decentralized status.
So the last week has laid bare the worst case scenario for a country that's running on legacy financial rails. You've got a nationwide cash shortage, closed borders, a local currency that's been touching record lows, and not to mention rapidly rising prices of basic goods. And that's why some Afghans I spoke to are turning to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Some people leaving the country are using their crypto wallets as a way to bring their money with them. Others see crypto as a way to stay put. I spoke with Farhan Hotak, who lives in a rural part of the country, a village called Zabul. And up until this last week, one way that he would make money was by day trading altcoins like Doge. I spoke to another person, Musa Ramin, who says that he can make more money in crypto in a month than in construction in a year. They also say it's a safer store of value than the local Afghani currency. One thing to keep in mind, though, unlike the rest of the crypto sphere, a lot of Afghans dealing in Bitcoin aren't talking about it. But the data shows that widespread adoption of crypto is definitely catching on. Chainalysis put out its annual Global Crypto Adoption Index in the last few days, and it gave Afghanistan a rank of 20 out of the 154 countries it evaluated in terms of overall crypto adoption. And when you isolate for its peer-to-peer exchange trade volume, Afghanistan jumps up to 7th place. Last year, Afghanistan's crypto presence was considered so minimal as to entirely exclude it from the 2020 ranking. Now, while the data is promising, major barriers to mass adoption remain. Beyond the fact that there's limited access to the internet and frequent power outages, a vast majority of the country is unbanked, meaning that they don't have access to the global economy from inside of Afghanistan. So the on and off ramps to the crypto world from Afghanistan are anything but straightforward.
Okay, here are some numbers you gotta know today. We'll start with 20,000. Airbnb wants to help refugees who fled Afghanistan in the wake of the Taliban's takeover. The company announced it will temporarily house 20,000 refugees through listings on the platform, and the company will pay for those stays. Just today, the Taliban announced it will no longer allow Afghans to go to the Kabul airport for evacuation. Next, 1,000. A decade ago, Tim Cook replaced the late Steve Jobs as CEO of Apple, and put simply, the stock is up big. Shares of Apple have jumped 1,000% since August 24th, 2011, when Jobs stepped down because of health reasons and Cook replaced him. In that time, Cook has overseen the introduction of the Apple Watch, the end of the iPhone's home button and headphone jack, much to my personal dismay, as well as the rise of services like Apple Music and Apple TV. And finally, 1.3 million. NFTs are still making big money, and one crazy bid this week was on a rock. On Monday, a collector spent $1.3 million on a clip art rock made by Ether Rock. It's actually one of 100 similar pieces that collectors can buy. According to Ether Rock itself, the virtual rocks serve no purpose other than to be bought and sold. You can read all about the Ether Rock auction by going to CNBC.com and downloading the CNBC app. That's it for After Hours. We'll be back here every Tuesday and Thursday, so be sure to catch us then.